Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of AEC Reacts, where we react to subjects relative to the architecture, engineering, and construction industry. I'm your host, Alicia Washington, Director of Marketing and Jedi at HRP Associates, and here with me today is Chris Abel, Alondra de Leon, Christina Arbor with Turner Construction Company. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in. So I was looking on LinkedIn earlier today, and I noticed that there was the Human Rights Campaign Foundation. They have an index and for best places to work for LGBTQ equality.
Yeah.
And Turner Construction was listed on that list. How do you react to that?
I'm really proud of that. So Turner Construction has actually had a score of 100 out of 100 for 7 years in a row.
Oh, that's amazing.
It is. And I remember when I was in college and I went to a career fair on campus, there was someone had a booth there. I don't know if it was the Human Rights Campaign or another company. Mm-hmm. And they had a binder on the table of the companies that were listed on the Corporate Equality Index back then. That's like 2011, 2012-ish. At that point in my life, I wasn't like 100% comfortable with being out yet, especially not in a professional setting. And I remember seeing that binder and thinking, wow, like if I were to work for a company on this list, I think I'd be able to go to work and feel safe.
Right.
Feel comfortable being myself. So I'm really proud to work for a company that's on that list. And then also, there's a lot of requirements you have to meet to be on that list that involve healthcare benefits, environment, the quality of your workspace.
Yep.
And, employee resource groups and the type of organizations that you support in regards to like community service, but also where you're recruiting from. Mm-hmm. So there's a conference once a year that we recruit at called Out for Undergrad, and we make it a point to go there and specifically recruit LGBTQ employees in STEM.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's wonderful. And how long have you guys been attending that?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I know it's been happening for a while though.
Mm-hmm. And it was before your time there too, right?
No, I think this is all actually fairly recent.
Oh, cool.
So I think our LGBTQ employee resource group probably started shortly after I started at Turner, which I started with Turner around 2012. I think the ball was getting rolling.
Yeah.
And once we had our employee resource group, one of the focuses became, the Corporate Equality Index and, what do we need to accomplish as a company to get there.
Yeah, and that's really important too, like having that index or at least having a guide. You do the employee resource groups because you want to, show representation. You want to make that community within the company feel, part of a team, welcomed, and have kind of a safe place. But I know here at HRP with our ERG, like we want to make sure that, it is a place where everyone feels like, okay, we can talk about these things. What are the things that we can do to better the company, better the environment and things like that. So having kind of a checklist of the different things that can be done, places where you can start, too. I think that's huge. So I wasn't even aware of this specific index, so when I saw it on LinkedIn, I was like, oh, that's amazing. And I was just really happy to see that Turner was on it, and I guess has been on it for a while, so that's great.
Yeah, it's I'm always happy to see that and to speak about it too.
Awesome, great. Well, thank you, Christina, so much for that. Here with me today is Alondra de Leon, Project Manager at Consigli Construction. Welcome.
Thank you.
So today I wanted to ask you about something that just happened recently. President Biden signs executive order to boost quality of federal construction projects. How do you react to that?
Ooh. Well, of course, that's very appealing to all of us in the construction industry. We have very important things to keep in mind when we're dealing with our clients, quality, safety, and budget. And so it sounds to me like that is related to perhaps addressing some of the supply chain issues that we've been experiencing in the industry, and the federal government has implemented a way to streamline some of the processes to ensure that things are getting where they need to be on time and within budget, and it's the right stuff.
Right, right. And there are, how much, with all the construction firms in the whole country, I mean, a lot of them are doing federal work. Some of them are doing, just private work too. So, how do you think firms, or even your firm, is kind of looking at this?
Right, so there are a few things. Being able to have accurate or educated market forecasts of what are the sectors and the areas that are being impacted, materials and manufacturing and things like that. And there's also the opportunity to shift in the way that we procure and we buy out our projects.
Yep.
Things like doing buyout of large equipment earlier in the design, as opposed to waiting to have 100% design documents. So those are some things that we are actively working with the clients and with design teams to facilitate, and we've been able to respond fairly swiftly and nimble in that environment. So it seems like the federal government is also working on that.
I know. Well, that's good. Good. Well, thank you, Alondra. Here with me today is Chris Abel, Membership Director at CT ABC. Welcome.
How you doing, Alicia?
Good.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, no, thank you so much. Yes, thank you for coming today. So what we're going to talk about today actually is something I recently saw on LinkedIn that said, statistics show that the construction industry is already facing a shortfall of 650,000 skilled workers in 2022.
Yep.
How do you react to that?
It's scary.
Yeah.
It's a little scary. The thing is this number has been thrown out there. That's the stat. That's the number. That's the stat. That's where we are. Okay. But you're never going to hear, if we end up dropping that by 20, 30,000, 40, 50,000, you're going to keep hearing this number kind of popping up. It's scary. Everyone's kind of dealing with it. Everyone has to tackle this shortfall. But the only way to do that is to not only introduce youth at a younger age to the careers in construction and the what goes on with it. You can make a great wage, keeping the door wide open for anyone to get in it.
Yeah.
I hate to think that anyone can not enter a certain door.
Right.
So if you want to get into the field and be part of that, closing that gap of 650,000, we want to make sure that everyone is getting a fair shot and being able to come into that and be introduced to this at a younger age, and being introduced to this when you're making a career change. Why not go into the industry? The only way to close that number is to train more people.
Right.
So it's important. It's important to train more people, but it's scary.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And how would you react to that? Drop it in the comments, and we'll see you in the next episode.